Introduction. The 1972 International Convention on the International Regulation for Preventing Pollution at Sea, COLREGS, is an important framework for managing safe navigation practices to avoid pollution and improve overall maritime safety. This agreement applies to all vessels in different maritime zones beyond territorial waters, include warships, auxiliaries, and government owned or controlled vessels. The COLREGS are a global regulation framework for seafarers that ensures safe navigation and guides interaction between boats at sea. Importance of maritime safety and collision prevention. Safety. The fundamental goal of COLREG is to safeguard the safety of all vessels at sea by giving regulation that sailors may follow to avoid collisions and preserve crew members' well-being. Consistency. These standards are internationally recognized and applied to all vessels regardless of size, kind, or nationality, supporting uniform and safe navigation practices worldwide. Legal compliance. Compliance with COLREGS is not only vital for safety but also a legal obligation enforced by maritime authorities worldwide, with boats incurring fines for non-compliance, including criminal charge in the event of a collision. Environmental protection. Adhering to COLREGS is critical for safeguarding the environment since pollution at sea may lead to oil spill with served impact on maritime ecosystem and resident stressing the need to obey these laws. Analyzing the effectiveness of COLREGS in enhancing maritime safety practices, prevention and technology. Some experts propose modifying COLREGS to integrate new technology features, but others emphasize the need for clearer standards to allow correct implementation and decrease pollution risk. Human judgment. Despite development in navigation technology, human judgment remains crucial in efficiently executing COLREGS, highlighting the significance of a good lookout as required by Rule 5 of the COLREGS. Compliance and prevention. Proper implementation and adherence to COLREGS are vital for averting pollution since failing to comply can result in accident, legal penalties, and harm to a vessel image within the maritime industry.
Brief history and development of COLREGS, the international regulation for prevention of collision at sea. COLREGS have a long history and have changed throughout time to improve maritime safety. Initially, in 1864, President Abraham Lincoln signed the first international guidelines to avoid maritime accidents into U.S. law. These guidelines paved the way for future change in maritime legislation. Significant progress was achieved in 1972 when the International Maritime Organization (IMO) adopted the Convention on International Regulation for Preventing Collision at Sea. This global pact created a comprehensive set of regulations known as the COLREGS. Key principles and objectives of the convention. The COLREGS are designed to provide a universal framework for safe navigation at sea by establishing rules that govern the conduct of vessels. These regulations set out clear guidelines on how vessels should interact to avoid collision and maintain order on the waterways. Key principles include: 1. Responsibility. Clearly identify the roles of vessels in maintaining safe navigation and avoiding accidents. 2. General definition, providing a common comprehension of words and ideas used in marine navigation. 3. Conduct of vessels, outlining special regulation for vessels in various visibility situations such as reduced vision or when vessels are within sight of one another. For light and shapes, establishing criteria for the display of lights and forms on ships to convey their status and intention to other boats. Adoption and implementation by maritime nations worldwide. Following the establishment of the COLREG in 1972, maritime governments across the globe recognized their value in ensuring marine safety. The regulations were accepted by IMO member nations and went into effect on July 15, 1977. representing a key milestone in international maritime safety standards. Maritime states have ratified the treaty and implemented the COLREGS international legislation to guarantee that all boats operating the international seas follow the regulation. The extensive implementation of these standards indicates a commitment to improving marine safety, standardizing navigating techniques, and minimizing incidents at sea.
Overview of the rules and regulation outlined in COLREGS. The COLREGS is consists of 41 rules organized into 6 categories cover many areas in marine navigation to avoid collision and preserve order on the waterway. Navigation Light Rules 22 and the COLREGS outline which line of vessels used to communicate their status and situation to other vessels. For example, vessels longer than 50 meters should have a masthead light visible in 6 miles away. Proper display of navigation of light critical of notifying vessel location and preventing collision. Sound signal. Part D of COLREGS specifies the sound signal that boats must use to indicate their presence and intention of situation when vision of limited. This signal serve an initial function in warning other vessels of possible hazard and averting collision in times of limited visibility. Right of way, Part B of the COLREGS, stabilities of principles of deciding the right of way between boats in variety of scenarios including head-on collision, cruising situation, and overthinking, understanding, and sticking to those norms and vital to minimize misunderstanding and enable safe navigation by clearly identifying the rules, vessels, and various encounters. Other safety measures. The COLREG is also address a variety of safety issues, such as restriction for boats cruising the channel of traffic or separation system conduct in low visibility condition. These regulations are indicated to promote safe and ordinary navigation, giving clear instruction vessel operation of various situations of scenarios. Importance of adherence to COLREGS for safe navigation at sea. Adherence to COLREG is critical for safe passage of sea because they offer a common framework of preventing accident and ensuring maritime safety. Following the regulation stated in the COLREG allows both improperly communicate, maneuver, and interact with one another, avoiding accident and ensuring the smooth flow in maritime commerce. Compliance with these requirements is a crucial for fostering a safety culture, preventing collision, and maintaining of the highest standard of marine navigation produced globally. Analysis of accident statistics and trends before and after the implementation of COLREGS. Before the implementation of COLREGS, maritime accidents were common and were typically caused by a lack of regulated vessel navigation of regulation. However, with the implementation of COLREG in 1972, accident data have indicate a significant increase in maritime safety. The laws have helped to reduce collision and improve the generally safety of global marine operations.
Evaluation of compliance level among maritime operator and enforcement mechanism. Ensuring maritime operator follow COLREGS is critical to maintaining a high degree of safety at sea. While most maritime operators follow this standard, there are several cases where compliance level may differ. Inspection, audits, and fines for non-compliance are important enforcement measures for encourage COLREG conformity by monitoring and enforcing compliance with these laws. Authorities may maintain marine safety standards and avoid accident caused by COLREG infraction. Continuous examination of compliance level and the efficiency of enforcement measures are key to ensure the successful implementation of COLREGs and sustaining safe navigation practices on waterways. Impact on maritime safety practices. COLREG have significantly impact maritime safety practices globally by providing a standardized framework for safety navigation, thereby reducing the risk of pollution and enhancing overall safety at sea. These regulations have led to positive outcomes such as ensuring the safety of vessels through consistent rules that are internationally recognized, promoting legal compliance to prevent accidents and protecting the environment from potential harm caused by collision. However, challenges remain, including the need for continuous improvement in enforcing the and interpreting the COLREGS to address involving maritime risk, enhance collision prevention measures, and further strengthen the maritime safety culture to mitigate human errors and navigational casualties effectively. Presentation of case studies and examples illustrating the application and effectiveness of COLREGS. Case studies and real-life examples play an important role in illustrating the practical application and effectiveness of the international regulation for preventing collision at sea, COLREGS. In preventing collision and enhancing maritime safety practices, this example provides valuable insight into how vessels navigate challenging situations, adhere to the rules outlined in the COLREGS, and avoid accident at sea. By analyzing these case studies, maritime operators can learn valuable lessons and best practices for safe navigation and collision prevention.
Lesson learned and best practices derived from these case studies. STS transfer scenario. In a ship-to-ship STS transfer situation, when two vessels are exchanging cargo, it is essential to realize that the collision regulation may not apply because the ships are supposed to come into touch. However, even in such cases, the need for clear communication, mutual agreement on tactics, and avoiding neglect to prevent the damage is emphasized. This instance shows the importance of coordination and collaboration among the vessels during STS operation to guarantee safe and effective transfers. Automatic collision avoidance strategy. Studies have demonstrated the usefulness of autonomous collision avoidance techniques that comply with COLREGs in averting collisions between several boats. Vessels can prevent accidents and assure navigation safety by using real-time evasive action, decision-making systems, and MPC-based controllers. These examples highlight the need to use technology and advanced control systems to improve collision avoidance measure and encourage safe navigation practices. Training and education programs. The human factor remains as an important component in marine safety, with many tragedies ascribed to human mistakes. Case examples highlight the value of successful maritime education and training MET programs in improving seafarers' quality, increasing their grasp of COLREG and providing them with skills needed to navigate safely. Practical exercise simulators and scenario-based training may considerably improve seafarers' decision-making ability and responsiveness to emergency circumstances. Recommendations for strengthening compliance training and enforcement measures. Refresh risk assessment methodology and technology. Regular update and improve the organization risk assessment system to effectively detect, analyze, and characterize risk. This ensures that compliance rules and processes evolve in line with developing risk and industry standards. Enhance compliance policies and procedures. Evaluate the completeness and effectiveness of compliance rules in addressing identified risks. Policies should be implied understandable, accessible to all stakeholders, and routinely updated to reflect changing risk profiles and legal needs. Provide effective training and communication. Integrate compliance policies into organization through periodic risk-based training for employees and relevant third parties, effective training programs, enhance awareness of compliance requirements, and promote cultures to safety and adherence to regulations. Assess whistleblowers, mechanism, and speak up culture. Empower workers to report concerns and seek advice on compliance issues by implementing strong whistleblower system. Encouraging a speak up culture promotes openness, accountability, and the early discovery of possible compliance issues. Empower the compliance program. Ensure that compliance personnel have direct access to senior management and the board of directors. Compliance teams should be considered useful tools for business, supportive effective communication, and decision making on compliance issues. Allocate adequate resources to high-risk areas. Appropriately fund and staff compliance programs with professional possessing relevant qualification and expertise based on the organization's risk profile. Adequate resourcing ensures that risk areas receive the necessary attention and support to effective compliance management. In conclusion, the analysis of international regulation for preventing collision at sea, COLREGS, demonstrate their critical role in improving global maritime safety practices by providing a comprehensive framework with a clear guidelines for vessel navigation, communication, and conduct prevent collisions to ensure safe operation at sea. The evaluation of case studies, accident statistics, and compliance level demonstrate that adherence to COREG greatly minimize the probability of accidents and develop a safety culture in marine sector. The value of COREG as a universal standard for safe navigation cannot be overstated as they enable effective communication, navigation, and interaction among maritime operators, preventing collision and maintaining order on waterways, ultimately promoting maritime safety and preventing accidents at sea. The call to action for continued effort to promote adherence to COREG and foster a safety culture emphasizes collaboration among maritime stakeholders to ensure universal compliance, continuous training, education, and enforcement to improve safety practices, prevent collision, and uphold the highest maritime navigation standard for a safe, fairer maritime environment around the world.